Uruguay, along with other Latin American countries, suffered a military dictatorship that trampled on individuals and collective freedoms for more than a decade. And it was in the mid-1980s and early 1990s that different social justice movements began to develop. Veganism finds its first voices in the emerging youth culture, strongly linked to the anarcho-punk movement that introduced the fight against animal exploitation. At the beginning of the 90s, the first alternative media appeared that talked about animal liberation: alternative radio stations, fanzines, hardcore straight edge, and hip-hop bands that positioned themselves in favor of animal liberation. Also, other activists organized in small groups carry out activities against circuses with animals. We can highlight in 1996 the legendary boycott to McDonald's that was held every October 16th, in which some groups spread through brochures and banners, and others with direct action, such as breaking windows of the premises that were located in the center of the city. These type of actions can be debatable, but they managed to put the issue in the local newspaper and TV news. In the late 1990s and the early 2000s, the internet began to play an important role in the development of the movement. Slaughterhouses videos could now travel the world, along with more nutritional information that we didn't have before. Vegans from all over the world would start having a more fluid communication using the advance of new technologies and talk about tactics and strategies. In 2007, an investigation carried out by PETA in Uruguay showed the interiors of slaughterhouses came to life for the first time. Already in 2009, we can name the Action and Reaction Collective that since that year have already carried out actions against the closure of the Villa Dolores Zoo, activities against animal experimentation, against the purchase of the animal as a pet in pet shops, among other activities. In 2017, there is a jump in the numbers of organizations that are beginning to form. Uruguay was born with the aim of promoting veganism through cooking, and workshops were held once a month with more than 119 participants in each edition. This cycle of workshops began with a screening and talk about veganism. They were provided with recipes, informative material, tasting, a round of questions with nutritionists specialized in vegan food, and an informative activism stance. There was also a film series with a tasting and talk about veganism. In March 2017, the first Earnings Experience Group was created, where activism was carried out on public places using laptops to show the Earnings documentaries on what the slaughterhouses and animal exploitation centers hide. In 2017, Anonymous for the Voiceless arrived in Uruguay with the same concept of educational activism, using laptops in public places, and animal safe movements with vigils in the slaughterhouses, chapters that are still active to date. In 2018 was a great year for animal liberation movements. At the beginning of the year, a chapter of Direct Action Everywhere, DX Montevideo, opens, with an intervention in the Festival of Meat called Meeting. On November 5th, the March of Animal Liberation was held for the first time, an event that takes place every year on the main avenue in the center of Montevideo. The date was not chosen at random, but is in memory of Barry Horn, a British activist who died on November 5, 2001 due to a kidney failure after a hunger strike in prison. Barry was serving an 18 years prison sentence, the longest prison sentence ever handed down to an animal rights activist. On December 15, a group of independent activists inaugurated the Cala, the first anti-speciesist center for animal liberation in Uruguay, a space where talks, festivals, workshops are held, and where a popular vegan pod is also currently operating, always building on a popular and solidarity movement. As a historical fact, in 2019, the Direct Action Everywhere group blocked the entrance of one of the largest slaughterhouses in the region for the first time. Although we haven't been able to return to the normality, little by little we are taking to the street with sanity measures in mind, adapting to this new normality. If you respect animals of all species, surely the idea of doing activism has crossed your mind. In animal liberation activism, there is no black or white, but a whole range of grades and levels of actions. You just have to find the type of activism that goes with your belief. Remember that the veganism is only the first step in the fight of animal liberation. The next is activism. The situation of animals is now much more visible thanks to the work of activists over the years, and the animal liberation movement and veganism have become better now. This is reflected in the number of vegan people, in the number of vegan businesses and vegan options in supermarkets and restaurants. As in any other social struggle, if you don't agree with how things are, you have to do what you can to change it. The past marks the present, the future depends on us.